Hey WildStar fans, this is Taugrim, and today we're going to look at my level 45 Esper running the Twilight Melee DPS spec in PvP. Great thing about hitting 45 is you unlock the tier 8 of abilities, which means I can get Mind Burst, the tier 8 finishing ability, and at 5 combo points or side points it provides a plus 15% chance to crit. This enemy player picks up the flag, I root him to allow our melees to catch up with him and chain that into a knockdown. So by delaying his movement, obviously, we're getting a lot more DPS on him. You can see the flag carrier has already lost his shields and was below 50% health. I get blinded there by an engineer, and our friendlies burn down the opposing flag carrier. I know this warrior looks like he's trying to get away, so I pop disarm on him. This prevents him from using his movement abilities, such as leap, because if he reaches that run speed buff, he's going to get away, but we make sure to drop him. Now, a couple things, relative to the lower level battleground that I posted, the level 25 build. Obviously at level 20 or 31 I can pick up the projected spirit ability, and it's important to get that tiered up to tier 4 because it provides a much greater amount of distance that you can cover. It's also a nice way to heal friendlies. So one of our players has stolen a flag. I peel for him by doing an AoE root and then chaining that into a knockdown. I get blinded again, and when I come back up, or rather I used a root and then subdue, and then here I used the knockdown, and at this point our flag carrier is in the clear. So with the 3 active CCs, the root, the disarm, and the knockdown, this build is fantastic for peeling and for applying pressure to particular opponents and shutting them down. You'll see how much of a difference that makes in some of the longer fights that we have here. The flag is spawned up in the middle top, so I'm actually sitting on their side toward their spawn point and hitting their back line, just making sure to burn through their shields and not letting their players get too comfortable. I pop subdue there, that's the disarm. You notice it disarms multiple people, and then I get a nice 5-point finisher right up the gut to hit several of their players. It's important to wait until you get 5 combo points because of the tier 8 Mind Burst. There's another really nice Mind Burst. You can see I've dropped some of the players down to pretty low health. That plus 15% chance to crit, at least at level 45 with my questing gear and 4 PvP gear pieces, almost doubles my crit, because my base crit somewhere around 16%, and then with the 15% crit chance buff that goes up to around 31%. This is some pretty protracted fighting here around the flag, around the flag point in the middle, and you can see their players are getting low. I drop one of them with a 5-point Mind Burst, and at this point we're going to be able to clear out and pick up the flag. Now, there are 2 enemy healers in this battleground. One of them is this Esper Shadway. He's, in my opinion, the best player they have on their side. And if you go back to the beginning of the video, he was the player who picked up the flag that spawned in the bottom right side. What was interesting is he picked it up he was up on the wall above the flag, and at max distance was picking it up. And because he was elevated a little higher, I think this protected him from getting hit from some of the ranged attacks, which is pretty impressive tactic. Check that out there. I landed a really nice subdue. I had the vector to hit 4 players, so they're disarmed, and they picked up the flag, so I'm popping my AoE root to delay some of the support and constantly spamming Psychic Frenzy. That's providing not only some damage but also some healing for me. I used my innate there, got that Spellslinger low, and then it looks like the other friendly Spellslinger is with me, who ended up with 15 killing blows in the match. Got the killing blow there, probably with an assassinate spam. So I can see the healer here, Shadway, applying some pressure to him. And you can tell that on the ground there's some purple telegraphs. That's because I just enabled it in the options. It's really helpful for determining who healers are. So I root Shadway, that healer, and he's continuing to apply pressure. I get a kill here in a moment, right there, 1200 with just an auto attack spam, and then I finish Shadway right there with a 4K Mind Burst. And you notice there's another number for around 500. That's from the Humanity. It's a 2nd tier amp on the way up to slow it down, and for your finishers it provides at this level about 500 extra damage, so it helps our bursty damage be a little bit burstier, which is nice. There was actually a 2nd healer in this battleground named Ashling, and that is a medic healer, but you'll see later I call out in instance chat the name of Shadway, since that was their primary healer at the time. But I'll talk about that in a minute. You can see I'm constantly rotating between my CCs, limiting their uptime. Every time, here's your 2nd healer, Ashling, the medic, and my auto attack snares him, and then I try to finish him off here with a 3-point finisher, but it doesn't quite do enough damage. we were going to kill him because I had another friendly regardless, but I probably should have waited up until I built up 5 combo points because of the crit chance buff, because he might heal himself. So I used disarmed right there to peel for friendly flag carrier, and then I chain that into a knockdown. And again, having 3 active CCs plus the passive snare effect makes this build a pretty good CC machine. And the nice thing is, since I'm high enough level, I'm able to take all 3 of the first tier cooldown reduction amps for minus 15% to your cooldowns, and that basically gets those long CC abilities, the cooldown shortened to about 30 seconds. It shaves about 5 seconds off. So you can see I'm actually looking and seeing I've got the enemy player list sorted by healing. So I can see Shadwi and Ashling are their healers, and I just give one name to the instance chat because I can tell sometimes it looks like the other players aren't helping to focus fire, so I'm like, just kill Shadwi. You can just get rid of one of their healers in these long fights. Taking down the second healer is not going to be a problem. You can see I'm on Shadwi again. I notice the player's at low health, so I go ahead and hit him with a Mind Burst. But for pugs, the tough thing is, obviously this is a pug match. Players sometimes get tunnel vision. They don't know who the healers are. What I do, one pro tip is that when we get into a battleground, what I'll do is when you zone in, you come in at less than full health, and sometimes healers will start popping heals immediately, and this is pre-match, and that heal shows up in the scoreboard. So what I'll do before the match even starts, actually let me talk about that in a second, I'm blinded, but I'm using my Psychic Frenzy like a cane, like a feeler, to see where the enemy is, and because I can tell I'm still dealing damage to him while I'm blinded, I pop my 5-point Mind Burst. This is that tanky engineer we were fighting earlier, and I'm chaining my CCs to knock down into the disarm, since he's the flag carrier, trying to kill him before their healer gets over here, so Shadwi arrives just a split second too late. But what I was saying about the scoreboard before the match, you can identify the healers pre-match by looking at some of the statistics, and then I usually relay that information to my team, because sometimes people don't know, they don't have these purple telegraphs turned on. They really should. It makes a big difference. Now, we're in a tough spot here. I go ahead and line these guys up for a nice a full 5-point finisher. And this is a 3 versus 6, and we're just trying to hold this spot long enough so they can't pick up the flag, so it gets despawned there. I pop my disarm multiple players, and we're just having a hard time here just simply through weight of numbers. They're dealing so much damage, and I'm getting some intense focus fire here. Get out of that CC, pop my charge ability, which recovers some of my HP, and I'm just trying to get some health back. You can see my health bar is ticking back up there. I've got double bolster running. Then I can able to join back into the fight, and because I am low health here, I should pop. Okay, there we go. I pop Phantasmal Armor. I'm still using it, by the way. It's interesting. It doesn't scale with our stats, but I still find it to be an invaluable tool for protecting our friendlies at low health. I build out a lot of my guildies when I've running pre-mades by using that ability. You can see there I get another nice 3800 Mind Burst for the kill. I get almost 1,000,000 damage, which is about 25% of our entire team damage. So 962k damage, 13 kills, 0 deaths. I actually finished third with 325k healing. Most of that is self-healing. There are battlegrounds where I'm able to line up friendlies who are low and pop Projected Spirit to heal them. But the specs continue to perform really, really well. In battlegrounds, obviously I'm not 50 yet, but I'm almost there. Just a few more levels to go, and then I'll have some endgame PvP content to share with you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.